Former Representative Sean Duffy believes that a $600 coronavirus stimulus check is communism. Take a look.
If these closures continue, Brian, and the government gives these workers a check for a little while, they're going to have checks for the rest of their life because there won't be any bars and restaurants to go back to work, and they're all going to be closed. We're all going to be forced, or these workers are all going to be forced to be on, the government dole forever because they're crushing these small businesses that won't come back.
Maybe that's the goal.
Maybe.
Well,
maybe it is. That's what they're doing in China. They're consolidating power even more. Whatever little bit of free market was left over this pandemic, Chairman Xi has consolidated and made it less so, because the middle class has always been the most unruly, feisty group, and that's who you have to control.
Wow. So, okay, there's some stuff to dissect here. For one, great casual, fear-mongering on China there. Yeah. It's what they do in communist China, where they want to control the working class. They're doing the same thing here with the stimulus checks. No, they're not. Again, but no Fox News segment is complete without the boogeyman. This time it's China, of course, right? But substantively, the argument against the survival checks is trash. Simply put, if you're going to do a lockdown during a pandemic, which has killed over 300,000 Americans, which is why you would need to do a lockdown in the first place to control the virus, as right now we have it rampaging across the country, you have places that have 0% left in their hospital bed. There's no hospital beds left. So if you have coronavirus, or hell, if you even have a routine surgery that you need, you are not going to be able to get a hospital bed because these beds are full of coronavirus patients because Thanksgiving, 4th of July, MAGA rallies. I'm just saying that these are examples of times where Americans did not follow social distancing requirements. And of course, there's different reasons why they don't. For one, of course, there's the anti-maskers, the people that are like, it's my freedom to eat inside an Applebee's. And then, of course, there's a per server inside of Applebee's that has no choice whether to work or not. Yeah, they can't stay in their house. They got to work. They got to feed their families, feed themselves. They got to pay rent. They got to do all that stuff. So now they have to go in the Applebee's with like a hazmat suit. And of course, in a lot of places, these companies don't necessarily give their employees the tools that they need to be able to protect themselves from the virus either. And so you have that situation, okay? And so if you're going to do the lockdowns, which I think are necessary in some, fashion, you got to pay people. You got to pay people to stay home. And this is what they refuse to do. Okay, the Republican position is, no, we will not pay you to stay home. In fact, we are going to give corporations liability so that you are forced to go to work. And then we're going to give you no money or very, very little money. And so suck on that. We're right back to the beginning. And that's it. Our position is, the progressive position is, the sensible position is, we are willing to do a temporary lockdown to help get control of the spread of the virus until the vaccine is widely available and until we can reach herd immunity, right? In exchange for us locking down and not going to work, because most Americans, we want to work, we want to provide for our families, we want to do all that stuff. In exchange, though, for doing the public good, we expect survival money. It's a very simple trade-off here, okay? Rent's got to be paid, food has to be bought, essential stuff has to continue. All right, okay? And by the way, all of this would be paid for by the taxes that we pay into the government for this kind of emergency. We all pay into taxes so that the government, when there's an issue, can take that money and redistribute it to the places where it's needed the most. Unfortunately, we do not live in that kind of world. Their position is, no, we're going to take your tax money and we're going to give it to corporations. No help for you, all of it to the corporations. And by the way, we're going to give those same corporations that we have just bailed out to the tune of billions and billions of dollars. Companies that didn't need it, people who didn't need it, people that are buying cars and boats and all that stuff. Oh, come on. We're going to give that money to them, but not to you, because you're struggling. And you, by the way, should get your ass back to work, because I expect someone to serve me at Applebee's. Doesn't help that I'm hungry before the show. But look, their opposition is also, we don't care if you get coronavirus. We think you'll survive. And even if you don't, sad day for you, that's not my problem. And if you get medical conditions as a result of this, lifelong conditions, organ damage, well, that's okay. That just helps, the insurance companies, because they can charge you more. That helps us. That helps our donors, all that stuff. So understand, right? They say no health care, no unemployment, no state aid. We just want to give you corporate bailouts. That's it. So really, going back to Duffy for a second here, who's really on the dole, sir? Okay, corporations have been getting massive bailouts. They've been getting priority for everything. The CARES Act was a massive transfer of wealth to the corporations. Who's on the dole more? Those companies, or the guy who lost his job, is 6 months behind rent, and has to go to a food bank to feed his kids, and might get a $600 bailout check or survival check? I think it's pretty obvious, okay? That $600 per person is next to nothing. And I know some people will be like, well, it's for a family of four, it's $2,400. That's still not a lot. That is still way less than what we have given to giant corporations in the form of loans, which, by the way, they won't have to pay back. A lot of them won't. So I'm sorry, but this is ridiculous. Duffy's he's a dumb shit. I mean, he really, this outrage that he's bringing, oh, China! Oh, we're going to turn into communist China. Wow. Red baiting to the max, right? And really, it really shows you they're both disingenuous, because nobody thinks that this $600 stimulus check or survival check is going to lead to people being, quote unquote, on the dole for the rest of their lives. Because especially for the fact that people want to go out and spend money. It's just, they're ready to spend money. They just have to have it. And we also have to have a situation where coronavirus is not raging. Okay? But it does show you how wealthy conservatives feel about the rest of us, the rest of Americans who are struggling as a result of this pandemic. That's not good. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and share with your friends. You can subscribe and help out the channel by becoming a patron. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf, or you can become a channel member as well by hitting the join button below.